Greetings and welcome to PinballHelp. Mike here. Today I am doing an impromptu video on something that has popped up with this electro-mechanical game. If you've watched some of the other episodes, you see that I had already gone through and restored this Gottlieb high score and got it all nice and working and brought it over here to our space. And people have been enjoying playing it, but it started to act up, as these games will do. And I want to illustrate something that is happening with this game and explain to you what's causing it, so if you have similar situations. So in this case, there's an annoying buzz that happens when the game starts. Let me start a game, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we'll hit the game start button and listen. You hear that? That's a coil that's locked on. And that's not a good thing. You don't usually want a coil stuck on like that. So what's causing that? Well, one of the clues to figure out what's causing it is to see what else is happening in addition to this thing going. So I'm going to put the let the ball drain and watch what happens when the ball kicks out. Okay, all right. It didn't. That was the last ball. But let me start a new game, and I want you to see what happens on ball one. Okay, starts off at 0. Did you see that? It did some scoring as the thing. So we got a coil locked on, but we got scoring. And if you heard it, it was dun 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 dun. It was 5 times. The score reel only went 4 times. So there's some other little dirty contacts in there, but that was a 50-point score thing. So what we hear is the 50-point relay is locked down, and you can also kind of tell that when you look at the game, and you'll see there's various 50-point shots around the game, and when the ball goes through one of them, they don't score. So that 50-point relay line, see, it went through that and it didn't score the 50 points. That 50-point relay line is shorted somewhere. Now, in this particular case, a lot of these games, all the 50-point relays, they're all tied together. So if one of those switches is stuck closed, it's going to make all the other stuff not work. So that is what the problem is with this game. There is one of these switches on the playfield, because of the metal in the 2 switch leaves, is probably fatigued and they're touching. It's most likely one of these stand-ups over here, because they get hammered quite a bit. And if this gets pushed in, and it stays that way, it'll short. So what I'm going to have to do is I have to take the lockdown bar up and the glass off, and I need to check all of these switches. And here's the funny part. When you're working on a game like this and this happens, oftentimes you pull the back glass off and you lift the playfield up to look inside, and it doesn't do it then because the playfield's at a different angle and maybe the switch that was touching separates. So it's funny, you can lift it up and check everything and it all looks okay, then you lay it back down again and that switch closes. So what you really have to do is you have to go through every switch and just check to make sure that they're not closed. And I might not even be able to tell which one it is. I may just end up messing with them and pressing them and looking underneath to make sure that they're nicely separated, and then when I try it, it's finally working. Sometimes you can tell exactly which switch it is, sometimes you can't. But it's a very common problem. The older these games get, the more the switches get fatigued, and they start to get closer and closer to touching each other. So this renders the game largely unplayable, and it's just something very, very simple, but it's going to take a little bit of time, go through it, and figure out which of those switches are closed. So that's a hint. If you get this weird buzzing like that, or you get a game that just keeps scoring, it's oftentimes there's a switch somewhere in the playfield that's stuck down. Just going to have to go through it, trial and error, try to find it. But there it is, and that's what I'm going to end up doing. I wanted to do a little video to show you, if you hear that buzz, that's that's one thing, an easy, simple thing. You don't have to be super technical. You can just go through and fiddle with some of the switches, lift the playfield up and look at how the leaves touch each other, and maybe just push it back a little bit with your finger, and then check it visually to make sure that it does work when the thing rolls over or the target hits, and you should be good to go. So there you have it. For more, visit pinballhelp.com, and thanks for watching.